guys, Tinker Tailor here today, bringing you another A to Z build challenge video. If you've never heard of this challenge before, it is a challenge where each week you get a new letter, and based on that letter you do a build or cast creation. So for me, it is a build challenge. I am a builder. That's really as simple as I can put it. But yeah, if you are somebody who wants to get involved and do cast, that is also an option. Cast is available on the table. But yeah, essentially you get a new letter each week and you do a build based on that letter, or a cast creation based on that letter. So if you are wanting to build, I can never think of anything. My mind goes totally blank whenever I'm trying to think of anything. Okay, let's go O. If you want to build an office, there's nothing stopping you. If you want to build an office, go for gold. But if you want to build something like I did an opera house, it really doesn't matter. So you could do like an office room, you could do an office building, you could do an opera house. If you are a cast creator, you could do an opera singer, you could do an office like worker, you could do an optometrist or an OBGYN, or like any of these things. If you can make it, then absolutely go nuts, have fun with it. It's sort of a challenge where you are supposed to, I guess, get outside your comfort zone and just have fun with building. You know, if you've built something before and you didn't do particularly well at it, maybe this is a chance to try again in that build. If you've built something before and you want to try something new, then yeah, you can do something new. And that, obviously this applies to cast as well. It's not just building, but yeah, like I said, I am a bit of a builder. I don't really know cast terminology, and without even thinking, I do fall back on build terminology. So yeah, whenever I'm talking about building in this challenge, you can apply it to cast as well. But we do have two rules for this challenge. The first one is hard and fast. It is no CC. So if you want to build CC, it will not be toured. It won't be officially a part of the challenge, but if you want to, you can absolutely go ahead. I mean, I'm using CC in this challenge, so you know, I'm not gonna stop you. But yeah, if you want to officially be a part of the challenge, then yeah, it's pretty strict with the no CC bit. And that's just because yeah, a lot of people can't or don't want to use CC, and I kind of just want to make it a little bit fair and even on the playing field for those who do want to participate. Now, the second rule is kind of more like a guideline, and that is you can participate in as many or as little builds as you like. So if you want to participate in just 1 week, then yeah, that's absolutely a-okay. If you want to participate in multiple weeks, but not all of them, then again, absolutely a-okay. I have zero issue with the number of weeks you participate in. I don't care if you do 1 week of cast, 1 week of building, and you alternate. I don't care if you just do 1 cast, 1 build, or just 1 cast, or just 1 build. Whatever it is, I don't really mind. It's really a build challenge for you guys to kind of get comfortable in your building and cast creations. It's supposed to be getting out and having fun and building something new and different, or something that you're really good at, or something you're not good at that you want to try again. It's really whatever you want to make it. For me, I most of the time try and build something new. Most of the time I try and approach something that I've never really done before, but sometimes I do approach things that I haven't necessarily done before, and so I'm trying them again. So yeah, that is sort of how I kind of came up with this challenge, is just trying to do something fun and new and different, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the challenge overall. So for this build, I decided to build an underground bunker. Now, I've done something like this before, but it was very, like, run down and an emergency bunker, like a doomsday prepper type bunker, where it is very much homemade, and I wouldn't say it was homemade, but it definitely had a lot more of, perhaps the shell of it got made by a team of professionals or whatever, and then the rest of it was filled in by like one individual, or like the family who owned it. But this one, I wanted it to feel a bit more like a celebrity bunker. So maybe there's like a rich couple who have paid for this to be made, and this is like if there's some sort of doomsday thing, because the doomsday preppers are not just people who are everyday people. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but like not every doomsday prepper is people building these shacks underground. That there are rich people out there who do have really expensive underground bunkers like this. So I wanted to kind of recreate one of those, and I don't judge. Like, if you're someone out there who has an underground bunker, I don't judge you. With the state of the world we're in, you never know what's going to happen, and maybe one day people will need it. So, that's each their own. Have fun with your bunker. I hope it goes well for you. I hope the end of the world doesn't happen. But I'm someone who likes to prepare for things. I mean, maybe not the end of the world, but I do like to be prepared. So I do understand people having fears and preparing for them. So yeah, no. Long story short, if you have a bunker, let me know what it. I mean, if you feel comfortable, you don't have to, but let me know if it's a really, really fancy one, if you've made it yourself, if it's deep underground, if it's more like a partially underground one. I don't know. Let me know. I've never been to an underground bunker. I don't think I've ever been underground, but I'm pretty sure that underground tunnels count. So yeah. Okay, technically I've been underground, but I don't think I've ever been to an underground bunker. I don't think I've been to an underground place in which people are preparing for things such as. But like I've been to there's places here in Australia that you can go to that are like ye old towns where they're set up as if they were from like the last 100 years or so, or maybe even 200 years, and some of them have little mines, and they've been fully I don't know the word, I was gonna say decked out, but that's not the word, like fully made safe, and you can just walk through and see what it was like. And they're not big at all. They're like maybe 10 steps down. Like it's yes underground, but it's barely underground and very, very reinforced and whatnot. So it's like it's really safe to be under there. But yeah, that's probably the closest I've been to an underground bunker, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been. So yeah, like long story short, if you have a bunker or you've been to one, definitely let me know down below in the comments what it was like. I'd love to know. I'm not sure I'd like to visit one. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm not that concerned about the end of the world. I feel like if it's one of those things that if I worry about it, I'm never gonna sleep again. So for me, for peace of mind, I don't particularly worry about it. But I know other people do, and they're not like, they're able to sleep at night. Some people can't, and that is why I don't commit to those thoughts and understandings and potentials and whatnot. Because yeah, like I said, I'll never sleep again, and I am someone who enjoys sleep. Although recently, not been sleeping all that well. I'm not too sure what it is. I know that I think what it is I'm just going to bed a little bit later than usual, but still getting up at my at my normal time, and because of that I don't feel that great. So I think I need to start shifting back my bedtime by like 15 minutes here and there, maybe half an hour to an hour here and there. I think my other problem is my tea goes cold, and I keep drinking it throughout the day, so I'm getting very short, soft amounts of slow-acting caffeine throughout the day, and because of that, it might be what's keeping me up a little bit late. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try not to drink tea past midday. That's usually my cutoff point. I am 15-ish minutes away from that, so yeah, probably should finish my cup of tea soon. I'm not gonna set midday as a hard and fast, like it has to be by that time, but it's sort of a guideline. I'm not going to make a cup of tea if we're close to midday. But I do have sleep tea, which I might have one tonight if I want to go to bed earlier, because they are super handy. The ones I have do not have any. Is it melatonin? I don't even know what people take to go to sleep. It's just like it could be any tea in the world. Like it doesn't necessarily, like if you take this bit of the tea here and this bit of that, it's all natural. I was gonna say herbs and spices, but that's not quite the terminology I'm looking for. It's all like yeah, like if you were to drink a lemongrass and ginger tea, that's all that's in it is lemongrass and ginger. It's that sort of stuff. It's just got very natural stuff in it, and the combination of these things apparently is very handy to help you go to sleep. It is a company. The tea is called Native Sleep Tea, so it's created by the Indigenous peoples of Australia, and apparently it's been around for a bajillion years. I don't know how long. I read into it because I was really interested in it, and then sometimes I'll read into things and I'll remember the very loose. I say sometimes, this is always. I'll remember the very broad aspects of it, but then when it comes to the finer details, I don't remember. But yeah, it's been around for a very, very, very long time, and it's been used for a very long time. And they have teas for all these other things that, again, like it's what you would find out in nature, and you could make tea from. And I love that. I love that so much. Not to get me wrong, I do understand that some people do need help from things like melatonin or sleep medications and whatnot. And you know what? If you take that, absolutely, some people need that. I am not at the stage where I need that, so I like to take, I don't want to say alternative medicine, but I like to take alternative options so that I'm not just jumping straight to a very obvious and easy fix. I'm worried that, like, if I were to take sleep medication or anything like that, that I would be reliant on it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to get stuck in a cycle where I am reliant on things to be able to sleep. So yeah, I do try and take care of it myself, but when I am struggling, I do find a traditional modern medicine, I guess. Traditional's not the word, modern medicine. But it's like when I start to get a cold, I will, like if I feel like I'm a bit under the weather but I don't have a cold, I will be drinking more water, more tea, getting more sunlight, taking extra long in the shower just to fully cleanse myself and whatnot. And it sometimes will even be like if I'm starting to feel sick, I'll even just go put all my clothes in the wash. Because I'm someone who I don't go out all the time. So when I'm at home, I generally tend to wear the same set of pants for a while. I probably should say trousers for the people in the UK. I'm not talking about my undergarments, I'm talking about my overgarments. But like my jumper, I will wear my jumper for maximum a week. That is my max for everything, but within that week I will go through maybe 3 different outfits. So it's like technically I'm probably only wearing these things for 2 days. Shirts are very, if I go outside in the shirt, straight to the wash. If I've spent half the day in my pajamas and then I wore this shirt for like a couple of hours and then I went back to pajamas, I'll wear it again the next day. I don't care. It's like I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't smell. It's not dirty. Whatever. But I'll take all those clothes and put them in the wash. I do have like a set wash schedule, but if I'm starting to feel sick, I will wash them earlier just to. I don't know. I think it's a mind over matter thing. It doesn't actually make me feel better physically, but I think mentally it's like a placebo effect. That's exactly what it is. It's a placebo. And I know it is, but it doesn't stop it from work. Like, it still works. It still, helps me feel better. But when I actually do get sick, then I will go and take proper medication. I won't, I don't know. I think there's a time and place for a lot of different things. I don't judge, any sort of medical practices that have scientific backings to them. So, getting more sunlight and drinking more tea. I mean, tea, yeah, I will always drink tea. But having more water, eating slightly healthier. That's not to say I don't eat terribly. Wait, I don't eat terribly. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have a bad diet. dinners are, we don't really have carbs in our dinner anymore. So one of my roommates, I live with a lot of people, but we cook for each other. So we'll take turns cooking so that we're not all having to cook. And it does mean sometimes, like, for example, I don't eat pork, but they'll make pork, but they'll let me know so that I can make, like, let's say they make pork steak or pork mince with a salad or whatever. I'll eat the salad, that's fine, but I'll go and make myself a little portion of something that I don't, that I can eat, sorry. So one of my roommates is trying not to eat as many carbs at the moment. There's just some stuff's going on, so they're trying not to eat carbs. So I'll still make food with carbs in it, but I'll just make sure that the carbs are easily removable. It's like when they make pork. They don't make like pork spaghetti. I can't eat pork spaghetti. Like I can't eat the spaghetti. Like I can't just pull it out. So they'll make something where I can replace the pork with something else. So when I cook for them, I'll make something where they can replace the carbs with something that they can replace that with. Like I've made what did I make? I don't know. I made something where you put it on a wrap, and instead of putting it on a wrap, they had a lettuce leaf. So it was like a lettuce wrap. Like the lettuce was already in the meal, so it wasn't like they were having to go and prepare the lettuce or whatever, but it's something where, I've totally forgotten why we're on this topic now. This happens all the time. I'll start talking about something and then I'll completely forget. And I'll go back and listen to it and be like, oh, that's what I was talking about. No, not judging people. I still don't know how we got onto this topic. Anyway, we all have different ways of living and whatnot, and I think, like people who use essential oils get made fun of a lot and severely judged. Now, there are some people out there who don't understand the use of them, and definitely don't do the things they're doing, but there are uses for essential oils. Like, for example, I heard somebody say that they get a cotton ball and they put a little bit of a nice smelling essential oil and they put it in the bottom of their bin before they put their bin bag in, and apparently it keeps your bathroom smelling really fresh. Now, I know that's not a medical related use of essential oils, but that's so smart. Like, if you want a fresh smelling bathroom and you don't want to be using sprays that you can buy from the shops because you're worried about the chemicals, that's a great solution. Like, that's so smart. I don't actually own any essential oils. I don't even know what classifies as an essential oil. But that's really smart. I'm not necessarily worried about the chemicals and stuff in sprays and whatnot. It is probably something I should not. I'm not going to get into it. If you worry about it, that's a-okay. But one thing for me is I'm worried about my cat. I don't know how it affects my cat. I'm not necessarily worried about how it affects me per se, but yeah, my cat definitely for sure is something I'm worried about. And she also doesn't like when you spray something, the sound of it, because it sounds like hissing and it terrifies her. So if I were to have a scent that I know is not bad for her and I could do that works for me, I'll do that. And that's what I'm talking about with, like, there's a place and time for everything. If you are sick enough to go to the doctor, you should probably take the advice of the doctor. Now, obviously not every doctor is perfect and correct, but if you get a couple opinions and whatnot and they're all saying the same thing, yeah, it's probably a good idea to listen to them. Although I do understand that in medicine, especially if you're a woman, sometimes, and by sometimes I mean most of the time, if you have an issue, they will kind of ignore it. It takes women 7 years to get diagnosed with anything compared to men, who I think it was 7 years longer for women than it was for men, but still, the point is it takes a long time. But I'm saying, like, if you have a cold or if you have a broken arm, like, okay, perfect example. If you have a broken arm, I don't imagine many people would rub essential oils on a broken arm to heal it. Maybe you do after it's got a cast on and whatever, and you rub it around, like, the edges of the cast or whatever. I don't know. If that's something you do, who am I to judge? I don't even know if you're supposed to put them on your skin or not, but the point is you still have the cast on. You've taken something that can be easily fixed with a proper solution. You put the cast on, fantastic, it works. If you've got a cold that is really bad, then yeah, definitely take antibiotics and whatnot. Even if you just have a normal cold and taking not so heavy antibiotics is probably a really good idea. And it's a really, really good idea to finish the course, to actually do the full antibiotics even when you're done. Keep going, because otherwise, yeah, there's a whole thing with resistance to antibiotics and whatnot, and the part of that is making sure you finish your course of antibiotics. I did not expect to be talking about encouraging people to finish their own antibiotics in this video, but here we are. That's just what happens here. Anyway, so we are kind of getting close towards the end of this build. Like I said, it is an underground bunker, so this little section here is like a little workshop with the planting areas, so you can have your own fruit and veggie garden underground, and there is a water heater and an electrical box, but just they're attached to the, what do you call it, the power grids? No, not the power grid, the solar panels, that's the word. Connected to the solar panels outside, and I didn't add a water collector here, but we can just pretend that there is one. I didn't want to put the dew collector in because they just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they would have something like that here, so I chose not to. And yeah, I think the underground bit is finished, so we are just going to be working on the landscaping for now. I'm really happy with how this landscaping turned out, and I've used some items that I like, landscaping and items that I just don't like and I've never used before, but they worked really well here. So yeah, if you are someone who does landscaping and enjoys it, let me know your thoughts on this landscaping. Now, I know it's not perfect. Absolutely, I know it's not perfect. And I know that there are many issues with it, but I kind of really like how it turned out. I feel like it would be somewhere, like this build would be somewhere in the middle of a canyon, and I can see that. Now, I know there is a road and a footpath right there, but if we ignore that section and we just look from the lot edge onwards, to me it looks like it's in the middle of a canyon, or like the middle of a desert or something like that. And I love the fact that I feel comfortable and confident with how it turned out, because a lot of the time I am not. I do not like how my builds turn out. They feel very questionable with their results with the landscaping, but here, yeah, I don't know, there's just something that I did that I'm like, I don't know what I did, but I'm happy I did it. So yeah, I don't know, again, I'm trying to be someone who is proud of my progress and success, because sometimes I can be very harsh against myself. I think it can be, it can be really hard to admit to yourself that things look good and you're proud of it. So I am taking every opportunity and chance that I can get to admit that, because yeah, like I said, I am proud, and it's something that's just very interesting to use items like this that I kind of don't like and kind of wish we didn't have in the game, but using it here, it works so well. It fits, it makes sense. So yeah, I don't know, I'm very, very pleased with how this turned out. But yeah, this is the fancy, rich underground bunker, and again, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I could have turned it into some feral little gross build, and look, we still, I know for sure I have one of them. There's going to be one that is kind of, yeah, feral and gross, and a bit more like the other type of underground bunker. I'm not building another underground bunker, but I'm saying like that other style of like lots of metal and dirt and surviving by the skin of your teeth type things, rather than living the lap of luxury while the world around you burns. So yeah, that we're gonna do another build in that kind of style. I won't tell you what it is, but I'm very excited to do it. I did say we weren't going to go back underground to finish off, but apparently I was wrong. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really happy with how this whole thing turned out. I think if I were to experience the end of the world, this would be a nice place to experience it. Would I be panicked and stressed and whatnot? Absolutely. Would I be concerned? Oh, absolutely. If my cat was here, I would be fine. If all the cats were there, everyone can bring their cat here. You guys can go elsewhere. I'll take care of your cat. You don't have to worry. There is unlimited cat food here, and we'll make it and we'll be safe. I don't know how I would do without a bookshelf in here though. Probably should have put one of those in, and maybe even a computer. Not that I think computers would work, but you know, if they did that, it'd be great. But if not, I'd have my books. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe. I come out with a new video every single day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.